Welcome back to BP Gaming Network. So we're still playing our Out of the Park Baseball 21. We've got our Athletics 2020 season still going on. So we're picking up exactly where we left off. That means that if we check out our schedule, so we are in week number 14, which is today is June 27th. We have a road game against the Chicago White Sox. So since the last video, which went up to June 12th, we've had a few games, mostly at home, and then we started a road trip on the 23rd. So since that last video, we had a doubleheader that we played against the Phillies, and we lost both games. And then we hosted the Angels, and we kind of split that series 1-2. The Angels defeated us in a 3-game series. And then we split another series against the Houston Astros by just winning 1 game. So it hasn't been the best couple of weeks since the last time that we published the last video. We started a 3-game series against the Tampa Bay Rays, and again we lost 2 games and won just 1. And then now we're on the road in Chicago playing against the White Sox. We've already won the first game. I'll show you guys real quick. It was a tremendous win for the Athletics. I mean, we completely thrashed the White Sox with a 19-1 defeat there. So it was an outstanding performance by Mike Fiers. He hasn't been pitching really well, but in this game he went 8 innings, just gave up 7 hits and only 1 earned run. Didn't give up any walk. That's tremendous performance there. And then Liam Hendricks came in and closed out that game. So we've won the last game, which was yesterday on the 26th of June. There was a lot of offense from everybody. Basically, the entire team was contributing. You can see almost everybody had a hit except for Matt Olson. We had a couple home runs by Chris Davis, and Jonah Heim contributed tremendously. He had 3 hits, but they were key hits, even though he only drove in 1 RBI. So all in all, it has been sort of a so-so month of June. It hasn't been the best month of June for us as a team. But we're hoping that we'll change. The tide will change, and we'll continue to play as good as we had been up until the month of June. Now, having said that, let's quickly take a look at the standings and kind of show you guys where things are at for the rest of the league as well as compared to our team. So in the American League, if you guys remember, prior to the month of June, we were leading in the American League. So we've now taken 2nd position. The Minnesota Twins have come through and basically have a 1 game over us, although they've played 1 more game over us. So we are 2nd in the American League with a 46-36 win-loss record. 3rd is the Texas Rangers, which are about a game and a half behind us. And then the Angels about 2 games behind us with 43-37 record. The Houston Astros are in 5th spot with a 42-37 record. And then you got the rest of the teams there. You got the Indians and the Mariners kind of battling for that 6th spot. And this is crucial now going forward. The positioning is going to have playoff implications. So where and how a team performs and where they're positioned in their league or in their division, it's gonna make a huge difference. If we take a look at wildcards right now as they stand, we're looking at, like I said, it will be the Texas Rangers and the Angels and the Astros kind of battling it out there. But as we progress on, one of these two teams will separate themselves. So the battle will be between the Angels, Astros, and then the Indians and the Mariners. So, yeah, I mean, it's still not too early. It's only June, but we're getting there. We're at the end of June, almost the end of June. So things are starting to get a bit serious. So you got at the bottom of the totem pole there, you've got the Tigers and the Blue Jays, holding down the last spots in the American League standings. The Boston Red Sox and the Yankees also struggling quite a bit in the first half of this season. They are actually in the bottom half again of the table. If we switch over and take a look at the National League, the Dodgers, as expected, are dominating in that league. They're leading the league. In the National League, you've got the Diamondbacks, who are second, followed by the Phillies, and then the Braves, and surprisingly the Mets. So things are sort of tiny bit more predictable as far as the teams you expect to perform well in the National League compared to the American League. The American League, it's kind of been flipped upside down, if you will. I mean, the Yankees and the Red Sox being in those final last positions at the bottom of the standings is a bit of a surprise. On the other hand, in the National League at the bottom, we've got the Marlins, the Rockies, and the Padres. That's not surprising there. The Nationals, again, they kind of have lost quite a few key players, so not surprising to see them there. The Cubs, expected them to be at least, top 6, if not top 5, by this time of the year. But the Giants, a tiny bit surprised there to see them in that spot. So, yeah, I mean, I like it when I see variation in performance. I don't like to see the same teams constantly always being at the top. So that's the way it is in our universe right now in the MLB for Out of the Park Baseball 21. What else? We'll catch you guys on to some of the other news that have been happening for our team. If we go to our team homepage, let's quickly take a look at some of our transactions. So there's been a few movements here and there. Nothing major. The biggest thing that you guys probably should know is that Matt Chapman was demoted down to the AAA Las Vegas team. Chapman, whom I'm shocked, but at the same time, it's a move that I had to make. He just wasn't really playing as Matt Chapman, even on defense, where he's, as usual, a two-time Gold Glove Award winner. It just wasn't enough for offense. He was really not contributing. So we made a few changes. We sent Matt Chapman down to AAA Las Vegas, and in his place, we called up Breivik Valera. And since we called up Breivik Valera, he's actually been playing really well. I can't say that he's a better replacement for Chapman, but I can certainly say that he's come in with that opportunity, and he's trying to really help the team. So you can see, since we called him up, and again, he was in an injury stint there for, I think, a couple of weeks. Injury history there, 6 weeks. So once he came back from that injury, he has been performing really well. He's got a 256 batting average and 385 slugging. So he's kind of filled in that role while we hope that Chapman will regain his momentum and we can call him back. I expect to have him back if we end up in the playoffs or even before that. So I'm not overly worried, but we had to shake things up a little bit just to get Matt Chapman a different look, a fresh look. So that was sort of the biggest transaction move that the team has done as far as the player movement. There's been other small minor movements here and there. The other cool thing is we finally got Joakim Storia out of the injured list. So he's currently on rehab in our AAA Las Vegas team, and getting some workouts. And we'll see how he can help out the team going down from there. What other major change? Another guy that Daniel Mangden, he came off his injury, and we had him on rehab for a while in AAA, and that the rehab time was running out, and so we had to make a move. I had a decision between Daniel Mangden and JB Wendelkin. So I'll show you guys here. So JB, again, is somebody we called up last year from AAA Las Vegas, and he pitched well for us last year in 32 and 2/3 innings when he got called up to the big leagues. It wasn't his first stint to the big leagues, but he was called up from AAA Las Vegas, and he pitched well from the bullpen. This year, though, it's been a bit of a struggle for him. He's got a 5.90 ERA in 29 innings. So I had a decision to make between JB. He's 27 years old versus, let's just do a little comparison so I can show you guys what I was looking at when I'm making these decisions. So I had JB, and then I had Daniel Mangden for comparison. Let's change this to pitching stats, or actually let's go first to pitching ratings. So you can see JB has a tiny bit of a higher ceiling when it comes to his future. He also has a little bit of a higher base natural ratings or ability compared to Daniel Mangden. If you look at his stuff right now, JB wins. He's got 50 stuff, and then he's got better movement and control. Both of them are about the same. And if you look at the future, though, JB has a tiny bit of a higher ceiling there. You could see in virtually all the different categories in stuff, movement, and control, JB has got a better potential to develop in the future. Whereas Mangden, he's really not expected to change much from where he is right now. And I honestly don't expect that. They're both right-handed pitchers. The difference, or the biggest difference that I can probably point out, is that Daniel Mangden is a starting pitcher. So JB is your full-time relief pitcher. Maybe once in a while can be even an emergency start is rare, but he could definitely fill in like a follower position if you had somebody else who was starting out, and then you put JB to come in. But Mengden can go at least 5 innings at a time when he's pitching well compared to JB. JB is a bullpen relief pitcher. As far as their arsenal, I mean, JB has a nice lively fastball that can ring up to 95 to 97 miles per hour. He also has an average curve and an average change, whereas Daniel Mangden, he has a few pitches in his arsenal, but none of them are special in any way. All of them are average or below average. He's got a very average fastball. Although it can get up to 95 miles per hour, it doesn't really fool anybody, really, just because he's a tiny bit predictable. His sinker is okay. It doesn't, again, it's not a sinker that will generate too many ground balls, as you would expect. He's more of a neutral pitcher, whereas JB is more of a power pitcher. So, as I was reviewing these two players, I decided, you know what, I only had room for one. Both of them have no more options left in their contracts. And as far as stats, I mean, Daniel Mangden had an injury, so he hasn't really pitched yet in the major leagues this year. But he did pitch a bit in AAA, and you could see his ERA, it's just equivalent of where JB is. This is career-wise. Mangden has had a lot more innings pitched just because he does pitch as a starter, so he pitches a lot more innings than JB. But I decided to keep JB. Either way, both players would have gone into waivers, irrevocable waivers, and they would both be exposed to other teams selecting them. So I put Daniel Mangden on waivers. Hopefully he clears and we can option him out to AAA and still keep him in our roster somewhere. If he gets picked up by another team, it won't be such a huge loss for me. I'd prefer to have JB at the moment. As far as depth, I mean, we need starters and relievers just as much as one or the other, just as much as the other. I mean, so really losing a starting pitcher or potential starting pitcher doesn't hurt us as much as it would if it was a reliever in either case. So that's where we're at. So as far as changes and movements, that's the top changes. We also attempted to negotiate a contract renewal with Liam Hendriks. Liam Hendriks just been tremendous last year and this year. As you can see, his numbers here are just 2.93 ERA in 30 and 2/3 innings. His saves, and that's kind of what we need him for. He's got 20 saves so far, and the season is not even over. His ratings are just through the roof, top notch. We tried to negotiate with him. He wanted 5 years, 13 mil a year, with the final year being a player option. He's 31 years old. I mean, that may not sound like a bad deal, and that could be a bargain for most teams. For us, though, I thought, right now, this guy's making about 5.3 mil, and he wanted to jump from 5.3 to 13 mil. And he deserves it just because right now he's in demand. Although I kind of try to negotiate with him to see if he can take 10 mil for the first year, and then 9.7 for the next 3 years. And I was offering him a 4-year deal. If he wanted a fifth, I was going to make it a team option. Just because by his after 5 years, this dude will be 36 years old. And he could still be effective as a closer, but it's a gamble. He didn't like that. He got pissed off, and right now he doesn't want to negotiate at the moment. So so just kind of wanted to loop you guys into that. That's one of the personnel battles that I'm having right now. So I'm trying to re-sign him. It is a goal that was set up by by the owner of the team. He wants us to give an extension to Liam Hendriks, and so I'm trying to do that. But we'll see. I definitely would love to re-sign him, and do anything to re-sign him. I just didn't want to just give him whatever he asked for right off the bat. Although, he definitely deserves the pay that he's asking for. I just thought we could negotiate. Again, we don't have a huge budget. If you look at our re-signing budget, let's go to a front office. We've got $36 million right now, 36.8. Giving a guy 13 mil a year really eats at that budget right there. And you have to remember, this budget is also for all the other players on our 40-man roster. So this is not just for our 25 MLB players. This is for the entire 40-man roster and a few others. So I have to be wise on how I manage this money. We'll see. Right now, he just doesn't want to talk, but we'll see if that changes. All right. Well, with that said, like I said, today we have a matchup between the Athletics and the Chicago White Sox. We've got our starters, and what we'll do right now is we'll go ahead and take a look at the matchups for the two starting pitchers. So today we've got AJ Puk, who will be facing Reynaldo Lopez. Lopez is the starting pitcher for the Chicago White Sox, and AJ Puk will be the starting pitcher for the Oakland Athletics. Both of them have been pitching well, and they've both pitched well. Reynaldo Lopez definitely has had a better season with a 3.67 ERA. He's pitched in 90 and 2/3 innings, and his whip is kept it fairly low, 1.20. So definitely has the upper hand. His win-loss record is not as great, but he's definitely been performing well for the White Sox. I think he's probably their best pitcher right now. On the other hand, AJ Park also has pitched well for us. Keeping in mind AJ is a rookie. His ERA is 4.13. He's pitched in 56 and 2/3 innings. His whip is a tiny bit high, but I think he's done tremendously well for us so far this year. All right, so that's your pitching matchups. We'll go ahead and move on. So we'll go ahead and move this game over to the guaranteed rate field, which is the home of the Chicago White Sox. That's the new ballpark that they got a couple years ago. And it's supposed to be a pretty good ballpark. So let's go ahead and move over to the ballpark. Now, before we get the game started, as usual, we're going to give you guys introduction to the starting lineups for the visiting team here, which is the Oakland Athletics. All right, so leading off for the Athletics will be Robbie Grossman. Batting second will be Marcus Simeon. Marcus Simeon has just been tremendous for the Athletics. He's got a 281 batting average, and he's got 24 home runs so far, which is tremendous. That number of home runs is good for seventh place in the entire league, and he's got an OPS of .928, which is tremendous. In the number 3 hole will be Tony Kemp. Tony Kemp has also been playing really well for the Athletics. In the cleanup spot, Matt Olson, and the DH will be Chris Davis. Batting 6th will be the catcher Jonah Heim. Batting 7th will be Chad Pinder. Batting 8th, Stephen Piscotti. Batting 9th will be Ramon Laureano, and your pitcher AJ Park for the Athletics. All right, guys. Here's another look of guaranteed rate field as we get ready to get this ball game started. There you go with the first pitch, and Grossman comes through with the double. Oh my goodness. This is why I had this guy lead off, because Grossman has just been tremendous. He bats really well against righties. He's a switch hitter, so that's tremendous. All right, so the Athletics have a run on at second, and now here comes Marcus Simeon with an opportunity to get on board early for the Athletics. Nobody out. All right, so Simeon is going to strike out. That will now mean one player out with a runner on at second. Tony Kemp comes through with a single to right field, and that actually is going to be a run-scoring double. All right, that's what I'm talking about. And again, that's why we put Tony Kemp in that number 3 hole. Again, being a lefty facing a righty, Matt Kemp is pretty good against righties so far this year. You can see he's against righties, he's been batting .288, and there you go. So Tony Kemp is going to take second, and that brings on the tremendous Matt Olson facing Renewal Lopez. Olson is going to ground out to the first baseman. They get the force out there. That does advance the runner, though, so it's a productive at bat. Tony Kemp is going to take third. So here we go. Chris Davis, the DH. Davis strikes out looking, so that retires the side and the inning is over, but the Athletics get on board with 1 run. All right, we're going to move on to the bottom of the bottom of the first inning, which means we're going to introduce you guys to the home team. So these are the starting lineups for the Chicago White Sox. And you can see their batting leadoff will be Leury Garcia, the second baseman. And then batting second will be Jose Abreu. And those numbers for Jose Abreu, you know, not his best numbers compared to how this guy normally can perform. But for the White Sox, he's been playing really well. He's got a 331 batting average with 11 home runs and 7.753 OPS. So he is so far one of their best players, especially on defense. Batting third in the number 3 hole, Luis Robert. Batting fourth, Yasmani Grandal. Batting fifth, Nomar Mazara. Batting sixth will be Tim Anderson. Batting seventh, their DH, Edwin Encarnacion. Batting eighth will be Cheslor Cuthbert. Batting ninth will be Jacob Brugman. And their pitcher, Reynaldo Lopez. Okay, guys. AJ Park will take the mound to face the White Sox. Alright, so the first batter, Larry Garcia, flies out to right field. That will bring on Jose Abreu. Abreu hits it right at the second baseman, and they get the force out at first. And now we'll bring on Luis Robert, the center fielder, to face AJ Park. I don't think Luis has faced AJ so far this year, so this is his first at bat, his first look at AJ Park. And he gets himself a walk, so Luis will take first base. And I will bring on Yasmani Grandal. And Yasmani, so far this year, struggling a bit compared to his usual performance, but he does have 15 home runs. And that's what Yasmani can do at times. So he comes up with a single to left field. That advances the runner to second. Luis will take second. Yasmani will be on at first. And that brings on Nomar Mazara. And again, Nomar, tremendous season so far with his 20 home runs. He's going to face AJ Park now. Yep, and that's the beauty of the left-righty matchup. And AJ Park is really good against lefties. So he sits Nomar with a strike swinging. So that will end the inning. We'll move on to the top of the second. Jonah Heim. Did I tell you guys that Jonah Heim has some power in him? This guy is a catcher who also has some tremendous power. He's a young kid who's just playing really well for us. So I had a decision to make in today's game. The slated starter for today's game was actually Paul Allen. I decided, you know what, he's been struggling quite a bit, and I decided to put in Jonah Heim, just because Jonah Heim has been playing really well offensively, and is also just an average decent catcher. And there you go. So he comes in, gets a home run, and gives the Athletics another run lead. So it's 2-0 Athletics. Chad Pinder will now face Reynaldo Lopez with nobody out. Pinder also having a good season, gets himself a walk. So we've got a run on at first, and I'll bring on Steven Piscotti. Looks like Piscotti's gonna hit a long fly ball to center field. It's caught, and that sets him down. So we've got 1 out, 1 on for Ramon Laureano. Alright, so Laureano will take first on a fielder's choice as they get the force out at second. So it's 2 outs now, the run on at first for Robbie Grossman. And it looks like Grossman is going to fly out to left center field, and they retire the side. But the Athletics do get on another run, so that is still 2-0 Oakland. Tim Anderson, the shortstop, will now face AJ. Now it's a strikeout looking, so Anderson is going to take a seat, and that brings up their DH, Edwin Encarnacion. So Encarnacio will get a single to center field, and he'll take first base. Chesler Cuthbert. Cuthbert is set down, strikes out swinging. And that brings up Jacob Brugman. So Brugman comes in with 2 outs and a runner on at first. Let's see what he can do. Cuthbert will hit a fly out to left center field. The side is retired and the inning is over. So we'll move on to the top of the third. Marcus Simeon will lead off for the Athletics. Simeon strikes out. Not the best start. Tony Kemp will face Ronaldo for the second time. Tony Kemp. Oh man. Back-to-back hits. So Kemp comes up with a single to shallow right field, right center, and he will take first base. And now you've got the powerful Matt Olson, who didn't fare well in his first at-bat. Let's see what he can do now. And that's a single to left field for Matt Olson. That will push Tony Kemp to second base. So the Athletics have runners on at first and second with only 1 out for their DH, Chris Davis. Yeah, Chris Davis strikes out swinging. That was an inside pitch. And he does tend to struggle with inside and low. All right, the catcher, Jonah Heim, who had a home run in his last at-bat, will come on to face Ronaldo again. All right, this time he strikes out swinging. So the Athletics leave 2 men on, and side is retired. So we'll move on to the bottom of the third. Leury Garcia will come in to face A.J. Puck. Garcia is set down. That's already 4 strikeouts for A.J. Puck, by the way. Jose Abreu comes in and gets a single to shallow left field, center field, sorry. Abreu will take first. And that brings on Luis Robert. So that's going to be scored as a wild pitch against A.J. Puck. That allows the runner to move on to second base. So Abreu will be on at second. Still Luis Robert with only 1 out for the White Sox. All right, A.J. Puck comes back and gets the strikeout against Robert. So now we've got 2 outs. Runner on at second for the dangerous Yasmani Grandal. And Grandal hits a shallow fly ball to center field. It's caught, and that retires the side. So the White Sox unable to capitalize on that opportunity. So we'll move on to the top of the 4th inning. Reynaldo Lopez with 5 strikeouts thus far in 3 innings. He's going to face Chad Pinder. Pinder will strike out swinging there. And I'll bring on Stephen Piscotti, the right fielder for the Athletics. The hard-working Piscotti comes up with a double to right, deep right center field. And he'll take second base. All right, now we'll see Ramon Laureano facing Reynaldo Lopez with only 1 out and a runner in scoring position. So far, with runners in scoring position, Laureano bats .280. So he's fairly decent when he's got players in a scoring position. All right, he strikes out there on an 0-2 pitch. So he'll sit down, and we move on to the top of the lineup as Robbie Grossman comes in. So there's 2 outs. We got Ron still on at second. See what Robbie can do. Robbie Grossman strikes out looking. So Reynaldo works himself out of trouble there, and they retire the side, and that inning is over. So we'll move on to the bottom of the 4th. A.J. Puck comes in also with 5 strikeouts so far in 3 innings. records its 6th strikeout against the right fielder Nomar Mazar. Excellent play. All right, so no shift for Tim Anderson. Tim Anderson this year has 11 home runs, and he's pretty good against lefties. So he is somebody that that we have to be careful with. He grounds out to the shortstop, and they get the force out at first. Edwin Encarnacion, who had a single in his last at-bat, will now face A.J. Puck with 2 outs for the White Sox. That's a pop fly. It's hit behind third base, and it is caught by the third baseman. So Encarnacion is set down. The inning is over. So we'll move on to the top of the 5th. Marcus Simeon. Simeon, who hasn't had a hit so far, continues to struggle. Matt Kemp, who's already 2 for 2, is now going to face Reynaldo Lopez. Lopez is going to hit a shallow fly ball to center field. It's caught. That will bring on Matt Olson. Reynaldo Lopez makes it a quick inning. A 1-2-3. And that ends. That's the end of the top of the 5th. We'll now move on to the bottom of the 5th. A.J. Puck, after pitching 60 pitches so far, doing pretty okay. He's going to face Chelsea Cuthbert. And Cuthbert will come in and get a single to left field, so he'll take first base. And Cuthbert is not a threat to steals. They don't need to worry about him. And that allows him to focus on Jacob Brugman and get a strikeout there. Leury Garcia will come in with a run on at first and 1 out. Oh, okay. So Garcia will get on base with an error. The error is going to be charged against the pitcher. So A.J. Puck gets that error, which puts a bit of pressure on him now. He's got only 1 out. Runners on first and second for the dangerous Jose Abreu. So yeah, no, we're not gonna walk him. So AJ records his 2nd wild pitch. That allows the runners to advance. So we got runners on at 2nd and 3rd with only 1 out for Jose Abreu. AJ Puck comes in and walks Abreu, and now we're gonna have some decisions. We're gonna have to think a little bit now. What can we do here? We have to get somebody warming up. It's the bottom of the 5th. We need somebody warming up. Let's take a look at the White Sox lineup. It's got a mixed bag. Mostly, I'd say it's got a lot more righties, but it seems a bit even because you have 2 switch hitters and 2 lefties. So it won't matter too much. So what I'll do, I will have their most dangerous hitters are actually right-handed hitters. I mean right-handed batters. Anderson, Encarnacion, and Abreu, but then they also have Grandal and Mazar. One is a switch hitter, one is a left. All right, let's get Chris Bassett warming up, and also let's get TJ McFarland warming up. I think that's a good balance. We got a righty and a lefty in the bullpen. I'm only doing this because AJ Puck has so far thrown 79 pitches. He's starting to make a few mistakes here and there, which concerns me. He's got a bases loaded right now. See what he can do. All right, so he gives up a single to the next batter, Luis Robert. They go ahead and get a run. So we still have bases loaded with only one out, and the score is now 2-1. Athletics still leading. The guys at the bullpen are still cold. Can we turn a double play here? Yes, we can. All right. That's one way to get to fix that situation. So AJ Park does work his way out of that jam, which is excellent. But it is good that I still got two guys warming up, and I'm going to keep them warming up there because I might bring in Bassett in the next inning. All right, Ronaldo is going to face Chris Davis, and Chris Davis strikes out swinging on a 3-2 pitch. All right, so the White Sox will be the first ones to make a pitching change. So Ronaldo will take a seat, and they'll bring in Steve Cishek. Steve, thus far this year, is got a 1-3 win and loss record, so not tremendously good. He's pitched in 32 and 2/3 innings. He's got a 4.68 ERA. Yeah, so a capable reliever there to face Jonah Heim. Jonah Heim is set down. That will bring on Chad Pinder. Pinder is also set down, and that retires the side. So the inning is over. Cishek comes in from the bullpen and makes quick work here of the Athletics. So we've got AJ Park, who's still doing okay. What I'll do, I'm going to sit McFarland. Yes, McFarland can take a seat. And we'll have AJ Park try to work his way into the 6th inning. All right. And he does get the first out. So he's thrown 82 pitches thus far. That was pretty efficient. Comes in and gets the second guy out. Okay. 4 pitches there. Let's see if we can get this inning over and done with. And he doesn't. Now that's going to bring in Cuthbert. Cuthbert already got a hit from us. That's 90 pitches in. I'm going to bring in Chris Bassett. So pitching change by the Athletics. We're going to bring in Chris Bassett, right-handed pitcher. Bassett thus far has got a 2-3 record in 72 innings. His ERA is 3.88. So he's been pitching really well for the Athletics this year. See if we can get the last out here for the Athletics. And he does. So he gets a long fly out there by Chelsea Cuthbert into right field. It's caught, and that retires the side. The inning is over. So that will bring in Steve Cishek. I will have... let's see, we're going to be going into the 7th and 8th. We got a tiny lead. I'd like to see that that lead increase, but I'll have Lou Trevino warming up. So Steven Piscotti will face Steve Cishek. Or Cishek, I don't know how to say that name. Piscotti's going to ground out to the shortstop, and they get the force out at first. Ramon Laureano will come in. Nobody on, and he does advance that lead. Ramon Laureano with a solo home run to left field makes it 3-1 Oakland Athletics. So a tiny bit of a cushion now, a 2-run cushion. Not great, but good so far. All right, with that, the White Sox will go ahead and make a pitching change. So they're going to bring in Matt Forster. Matt Forster is a right-handed pitcher. He hasn't had any decisions this year. He's pitched in 6 2/3 innings. He's got a 5.40 ERA. He has pretty good control, and he's a neutral pitcher. So let's see what Forster can do as he faces Robbie Grossman. Grossman will ground out to the shortstop. They get the force out at first. So that retires this side. Oh no, that's actually the second out. My bad. We're still alive here. So Marcus Simeon, who's been struggling all game long, hasn't had a hit yet. Can this be the moment? Could it be? Yes, it is the moment. Marcus Simeon comes in finally with a long single to left field. I would have loved for that to be a double, but that's okay. So Simeon will take first, and now we'll see Tony Kemp facing Matt Forster, lefty versus righty. And yeah, we'll see if we can keep this inning alive. And we do. That's going to be an error. And it's going to be an error against the pitcher. So it looks like the first baseman threw it to the pitcher, and the pitcher somehow wasn't able to catch that one. Matt Forster, probably not very good at defense. Well, that allows Tony Kemp to take first. We will take it either way we get it. That still keeps this as a lefty versus righty matchup, as Matt Olson will now come in with only 2 outs and 2 on for the Athletics. Yikes, no. Alright, so that doesn't materialize. Olson will fly out to left field, so that retires the side. It is the 7th inning stretch, guys. This is an opportunity for us to strategize a bit. We got Trevino warm. Do we get somebody else warming up as we move into the 8th? We'll see. I would like to probably warm up Jake Dykman. This might end up being a save situation if we can hold off and not give up any more runs. So we'll see if we'll try and play it out that way. All right. Bassett continues to pitch well there. So he's 1 pitch away to have pitched an entire inning. And he does get it. No, he doesn't. So that'll be a single. It'll be recorded as an error against Matt Olson or Tony Kemp. I wasn't sure on that one. But it didn't look like an error, but I think abreu is just that quick. Sorry, it was Larry Garcia. So abreu does fly out to center field. So abreu is going to sit down. That brings in Luis Robert, still facing Chris Bassett. All right, so that was very painful. Luis Robert, the center fielder, in that number 3 hole. Now we see why they've got him there. Comes in with a home run, a 2-run home run, which makes the score 3-3. And we still have Yasmani Grandal trying to keep the inning alive, facing Chris Bassett. Grandal comes in with a single to center field. That will bring on Nomar Mazar. The score is tied now, 3-3. Mazar is gonna, grounds out to the third baseman. They get the force out at the second. That retires the side, and the inning is over. So Bassett, perhaps I don't know if that was the right or wrong move. I'll have Trevino sit down. And I'm also going to get Jake Dykman to sit down. We've still got Matt Forster coming in. I've got a decision to make here. Should I let Chris Davis bat? Or no? So, let's go in here and think this through. Chris Davis Facing the righty, Matt Forster. You know what I'll do? I'm going to bring in Moncada. So Canna is going to replace Chris Davis as the DH. So we have a pinch hitter who's coming in replacement of Chris Davis. So Mark can see what he can do here. All right, so he hits a pop fly. It's caught just behind the first base. He's set down, so Jonaheim will bat next. Oh, tremendous. Jonaheim with the single to shallow left center field. All right, so Jonaheim is not super athletic. We've got Chad Pinder here. I think we're going to try bunting. Lost art in modern MLB. God, no. All right. So the bunt doesn't necessarily pan out, but it's not a total loss. Pinder bunts. It's too strong of a bunt. They get the force out at second. That sends our catcher to the bench. But Chad Pinder will take first. So he gets there on a fielder's choice. So Piscotti comes in and he flies out to right field. So that inning doesn't really help us out that much. So I'm going to bring in Trevino. So we have a pitching change here for the Athletics. Lou Trevino will pitch next. Trevino's got a 3-1 win and loss record in 34 innings. He's got an ERA of 3.18. All right, let's see how this pans out. He's going to face Tim Anderson, the shortstop. Also, Trevino gets the first out against Tim Anderson. And now the DH for the White Sox, Edwin Encarnacion. Encarnacion comes in with the single to left field, so he'll take first base. Chelsea Cuthbert. Cuthbert grounds out to the shortstop, and they get a double play. Your typical 6-4-3 double play. Oh, that was beautiful. So the side is retired. That inning is over, and now we'll move on to the top of the ninth. So, I've got to have some people warming up. I gotta get my closer warming up. All right. So the White Sox have a pitching change. Tommy Canley. We'll go with Canley. Tommy's gonna come in for the White Sox. He's got a 3-4 win and loss record in 32 2/3 innings. He's got an ERA of 4.70. All right, he's got tremendous stuff. So this guy has a lively fastball. Velocity can get up to 97 to 99 miles per hour. So he's a power pitcher. Most likely, I believe it's their closer. Let's see what he does here. And he's going to face Ramon. All right, that doesn't scare Laureano, as Ramon Laureano comes up with a single to right field. That gets him on board. I'm not going to bunt again here because Grossman can actually hit. So, should we attempt a steal here for Laureano? Let me think this through. Well, no. Let's ride this one through. I think I've got good hitters here. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Ramon Laureano tags and actually steals second on that long fly ball by Robbie Grossman. So Grossman contributing, even though they get the force out, the put out. Grossman advances the runner there with a sac fly to center field. And that's why I didn't want to take that risk, because I have some capable hitters here. So Marcus Simeon, has he come alive enough that he can contribute here? And he does come through with a walk, and that's tremendous for us. All right, so this is a tremendous opportunity for us. I've got two lefties coming up, facing a righty. If they don't replace this guy, I mean, we should get a run here. Oh my goodness. All right. So Tony Kemp hits into a ground ball to the shortstop, who gets a 6-4-3 double play. That retires the side, so the Athletics are unable to really do anything with that situation. Anyway, we've got Trevino. Oh boy, a walk-off home run. Oh my goodness. Oh wow. Jacob Bregman, the dude who's batting ninth, the left fielder. Bregman is a decent guy, or at least was a decent player, but hasn't been playing that well for this team. And so he was batting ninth, and he actually comes through for the White Sox with a long ball. I'm shocked, didn't expect this to play out this way. I was expecting a win here against the White Sox. It just did not work out as I was expecting. But yeah, there it is. There it is. All right. Well, so there's the win, and there you have it. It was a fun game. Wasn't expecting to lose this one, but you win some, lose some. Having said that, let's quickly take a look at the pitching matchups again. So AJ Park, he went 5 2/3 innings. He gave up 5 hits and just 1 run, so which is tremendously good. Had 7 strikeouts. His ERA 3.90. His matchup there, Lopez, went 5 1/3 innings, giving up 6 hits and 2 unruns. His ERA was 3.66. So yeah, it was I think it was a fair matchup. The two pitchers really matched each other pound for pound. It wasn't until just later in the game where we ended up just a few mistakes here and there, some errors by AJ Park, and then Bassett giving up a couple runs there, and Trevino. But I think it was a pretty good game all in all. So with that, we will go ahead and take a look at tonight's top performer. And without a doubt, I think we can all agree that Luis Robert was the game changer. It was his, I believe, his 2-run home run in the bottom of the 7th against Bassett that really changed the direction of this game. Luis was, he went 2 for 3. He had 3 at-bats, 2 hits, batting average 265 for tonight's game. Drove in 3 RBIs for his team with 1 home run and one walk. So Luis was the main man for tonight's game, and that's how we see it, and that's just the way this one played out. All right, guys, so that brings us to the end here of our matchup and our video for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Yeah, we'll continue to post a lot more videos, and hopefully you guys can follow the team along as we continue this journey. Yeah, so I guess with this loss, we can say that the series with the White Sox is split at the moment. We have one more game tomorrow against them, so we'll see how we play out. And if you want to follow along and see how it happens or what happens next, watch our next video. So please, like, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, comment, and hope to see you guys on our next video. Thank you.